On this episode of the Palm Beach Current, I'm joined by Chris Gannon, founder of the popular restaurant chain Bolay. Chris talks about what it's like to start not just one restaurant, but many, and what makes Palm Beach County such an exciting place to call home. So happy to be joined today by a bit of a Palm Beach County legend here, Chris Gannon. Chris is the owner and founder of the Bolay restaurant group here in Palm Beach County. Chris, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. It's wonderful to be on the show, Chris.
Great. Well, we will jump right into this here. So, is there? Tell me about where the idea for Bolay came from.
Yeah, great question. I've been in all facets of the restaurant business, fine dining, fast food, casual dining. And what I realized was there wasn't very many ideas or concepts out there that were bringing that elevated food, nutritious whole food to guests in a quick environment, right? We all have time is a precious commodity these days. And so we're very sensitive to that. So how do we do that? But then also layering in that genuine hospitality. And I saw in the marketplace that didn't exist. And so obviously that's where the idea spawned. And it was on the back of a napkin with in an airport. And we created the name Bolay, kind of ideation of sunglasses, adventure, and then Olay to have fun. And then Bolay, Bolay, name came about. So it was super exciting. And 10 years in, and we're still standing.
Nice. So, was there a specific moment that you knew this would actually work? And what was that aha moment for you that you wrote it down on the back of a napkin, you started to put this together, and what was the moment that you said, "Hey, I think this is really going to be successful"?
It was such a blur back then. And everybody said, "What was your business plan?" I had a simple business plan. It was to make the guest come to our restaurant and then to do such a great job that they wanted to come back. That was the business plan, right? Everything else, it was from the hip, figured out from the gut. Quite frankly, that's the honest to God truth. I think the first day when we opened and we did, almost $8,000 in revenue, and in fast casual, that's a big number. And just the incredible feedback we got from all the guests coming in and day out, leaving us wonderful reviews online through the ups and downs of running a restaurant business. And, just the incredible brand affinity that people just genuinely love what we were providing from a culture perspective, from a food perspective. The name resonated. I don't know. It's hard to get the whole algorithm right, just to get the whole brand and the experience, the music, the vibe, the energy, the team, the food, and then consistently do that day in and day out. So I think that's when we kind of cracked that code is where we figured out we had something special.
Right. And so, Chris, for people that know Bolay, I mean, you drive all around South Florida from Miami all the way up to Palm Beach and you see a location, you stop in, right? I'll speak personally. Uh, I think people with fast food, with fast casual concepts, it's gone from the days like back when I was a kid. Oh, okay, can we stop at McDonald's? Can we go to Wendy's? And now people don't want to eat that way, right? I think predominantly younger people, they look at it and say, I don't like how it makes me feel. So I'll go out of my way, to find a Bolay, right? And everybody kind of has their take on what they want and which proteins and what it looks like. And people love the cookies even, right? Like I could say a lot of good things about Bolay. But for people that don't know Bolay, maybe you could tell people a little bit about you, right? Who I think people like to know the kind of the guy behind the scenes, right? Tell the audience a little bit about you for people that don't know Chris Gannon, the proprietor of Bolay.
Yeah, so I think I genuinely have always enjoyed throwing parties, right? Even when I was younger, I learned that from my mother growing up in New Orleans and entertaining people. And then, going to college and hosting parties. And I realized, we all, I think, find different purposes in life. And my purpose I have found is I genuinely love seeing other human beings happy. And I love entertaining. I derive happiness from other people's happiness. Uh, and seeing uh, people in our restaurants happy, it kind of fuels me. I'm a competitive person by nature. And, you know, the beautiful part about opening up a restaurant is you get to make a lot of people have a fun party, but you have a team to help you clean up after the party versus I used to have to clean up after the parties myself when, dinner parties or whatnot. And truly, food is such a connector of humans. We all, over any type of meal, it's a way to bring us all together. And I think, especially in today's day and age with this digital ecosystem that we all live in, we still need a way to kind of be brought back together. Um, so, I love competition. I love racing. Anything that can race, I love racing. I love learning new things. I'm a super curious person. I love seeing how things are built or made or why and challenging the status quo and looking at something and realizing that if it's sharp, how do you make it sharper? If it's fast, how do you make it faster? And I just never accept kind of the status quo. And I'm always looking at it. And it can be to a fault. I will tell you, it can be, ask my wife, it's a little frustrating sometimes, or I'm constantly like, yeah, that was great, but make it better. It's great. Can we do it faster? And same within the team. And I have to learn to use that in a positive way and harness it versus that constant, that because that can wear people down, right? Of just that constant need for improvement. Um, but yeah, so I love Palm Beach County. I love Florida. I love where we live up in the Jupiter area. I think we're so blessed to be in the state of Florida, an hour away from the Bahamas, a couple hours from the Keys, Disney World, Tampa. It's such a dynamic place, and love being in the outdoors. I'm not an indoor person; I'm an outdoor person.
Take me back a little bit to the improvement side, right? So in terms of Bolay, what year did you guys officially start Bolay?
2016, 10 years
So
ago.
so if you were to go back to the version of you in 2016 compared to now, what would you say is the biggest improvement you would tell yourself to make right out of the gate with the restaurant?
Well, I don't know. Back then was a lot more fun. It was a lot more gunslinging from the hip, no meetings on HR and insurance and tax and all the other fun stuff when you start building a bigger business that you just kind of, unfortunately, as a CEO, get dragged into. It was a lot more of just a single unit. The tech stack wasn't as complicated as it is in today versus then. It was a lot simplified and just take care of the guests and make great food. Um, I'd say keep coaching yourself on how to have fun and make it fun because you can get too serious in this game and any type of business gets bigger. So you always want to just make sure you find a way to have fun. And I think that's a little bit part of my DNA is I always tell people I have a nose for fun. I can smell fun and find fun. So how do I continue to incorporate that into the business at all levels, right? And realize that, it's a ever evolving game and we just have to keep playing.
Right. If when you go into Bolay, what's your order of choice? What's your bowl look like? Your go-to?
And
Gonna be interesting.
typically, yeah, I will always fall to the Asian sweet potato noodles. They're one of my kind of favorite items. Um, the mushrooms, the broccoli, and then the proteins I switch up. But I think I'm always, a steak fan. I really love our steak, especially now it's hormone antibiotic free, and it's a great product. And now that we're char grilling all of our proteins again, I've learned a lot in that generation. And I never used to be a spicy sauce guy, but I've kind of really pivoted towards our smoky chipotle sauce and enjoying the I call it the educated heat of the sauce, right? You got the hot sauces, which I call are dumb heat. All that is just pure spice. Educated heat is when it's a well-rounded sauce flavor profile that just happens to have a little bit of that heat and excitement and awaken your palate from a pepper perspective.
Okay. And I'm curious. I mean, I'll go in, and sometimes it might be a month or two in between visits. But I'll notice that there's new things on the menu. There's old things taken off. How do you guys determine what goes on the menu and what comes off the menu, and how much of that is customer feedback that you guys get directly?
A lot of it is guest feedback, right? All of the voice of the guest. We listen. We use all the tactics, social media, all the ratings, review systems, surveys, and so on and so forth. Me being in the restaurants a lot, talking to our frontline team, talking to guests in the dining room, getting their feedback and perspective. And then from a seasonality perspective, we do go in and out of menu items with the seasons. So, for example, we just exited Brussels sprouts and we went back into mushrooms. Well, Brussels sprouts have a window of really uh, great product at the right price point. And obviously, with scarcity and supply and demand, the price point might skyrocket. It might be a good availability, but the Brussels sprouts become these trees, and then it becomes a bitter flavor profile, and you're paying through the nose. And then we can't allow to ourselves to still can give ourselves the guests that great service and quite frankly be in business. So it's a blend of seasonality, produce, what's working, and then quite frankly you know, what are we getting bored of eating day in and day out? How do we have a little bit of a change and excitement? And that's the hardest part about this business is you're always going to make somebody upset when you remove something, but you're going to make another person super happy. So you just hope that in that transition, you're making more people happy than upset. And we try and manage and balance that. And, we've made some mistakes and gone too far. Well, fail fast, bring it back. That's the beauty is you just all right, we screwed that one up. Bring it back, celebrate it. Say, hey, we listened, we heard you. Your loud voices, we heard you. We're bringing it back because yes, we do have a lot of loud voices, and we do truly love our guests giving us feedback. I mean, at the end of the day, we built a restaurant to serve them, not to serve ourselves. So it's whatever our guests want, and how do we distinguish the difference and what all they're asking for.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. I think it's exciting when you go in there because there's always something new to try, right? Which I like. But you always have your go-to favorite as well. Like there's always that
Yeah,
default.
we don't. There's a
But
few sacred items that we just will not take off: broccoli, sweet potatoes, lemon chicken, teriyaki chicken, sweet potato noodles. Like there's some items that they're always there and they're always going to be staples, and just execute the heck out of those. And then other items we there's some fun with.
right. Chris, you mentioned you're a big competitor, right? And obviously a huge entrepreneur. Was that entrepreneurship, you think, in your DNA, or did you really start to feel it? Like you mentioned a few minutes ago, uh, as the restaurant has aged and gotten a little bit older, it isn't as fun, right? So how does that there sounds like there's a lot of layers to this. Like you got that exciting part of the entrepreneurship, you got the mundane part of the entrepreneurship. I mean, talk to me about that because as a big competitor, I would think that really lives within you and you live and breathe that every day.
Yeah, and it comes in waves, right? I think it's a business journey. It comes in waves. The excitement of opening, okay, cool, check that box. All right, the excitement of replicating, check that box. Okay, let's learn, let's do it. Let's keep the consistency going. Building great teams to go along the journey, going into new areas and expanding, into tough times, learning how to raise capital. Okay, there's a new challenge. So there's again, I go back to that genuine curiosity of the business at every different journey or chapter presents new opportunities, new challenges that you have to figure out the algorithm of and work within there and lean on as much feedback as you can from trusted mentors and advisors, along with your incredible team that you have alongside you to help make these business decisions because it's so much bigger than me now. It's not me,
Right.
Bolay. I don't look at Bolay as me. Yeah, I'm the one stewarding it at this moment, but it's
Exactly.
bigger than me. The brand is bigger than me. It means so much to so many people. Our team members, they need for us to make the best decisions at the helm for them to be able to operate their restaurants. I mean, at the end of the day, we're at the restaurant support center now, and I look at my job as just making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure the restaurants have what they need to be successful. So that way they can go take care of our guests. And that's how the great circle of life in our business works.
Right. Now, how many restaurants do you guys have now?
We are 23 restaurants all over from Gainesville, Florida, Orlando, Tampa, all the way down the west or east coast down to Miami,
Okay.
and looking to expand and grow some more.
So with 23 restaurants, I think with any restaurant that you go to that it has to be replicated, but you also want your own identity, I would think too, right? You want to have your teams and you want your team to fire in a certain way and deliver customer service. What do you look at in terms of hiring the people that run these teams? What's the number one trait that, if I were looking to work at a Bolay, what is it that Chris Gannon looks for in that person that not only runs the team, but the people that are going to take care of all your guests on a daily basis?
Yeah. First is, do you smile? Can you smile? I mean, it's the number one part of being in the restaurant business. Or it's our number one part of our uniform is our smile, right? Because when you smile, you create a chemical reaction between two human beings and you elevate into a positive experience. Once you can do that And then secondly, you have the genuine care to take care of other human beings and want to do things for other humans. That's what this business is. We're there serving other humans. If you don't want to serve, if you don't have a smile and a positive attitude, because you're working in a high intense environment, less than 1,000 square feet within the kitchen with many different team members, backgrounds, emotions. That's all we are as humans is emotions. You gotta be able to handle yourself accordingly within our core values too. I really believe in our core values of teamwork, excellence, integrity, and stewardship, and providing genuine hospitality with positive experiences. And so when you can do all of those things, and it's not easy. It's not easy to find great talent. And I think a lot of our team brings their friends and sisters and brothers, and that builds on a tribe. I look at creating a business. It's a tribe, and we have to attract more people from our tribe to our vibe, if you will. And yeah, it is a challenging part of the business, but a fun part of the business.
Right. No doubt about it. Well, let's bring it back to Palm Beach a little bit. I mean, I know you're all over South Florida. What makes this market unique, right? In and around Palm Beach County. I mean, we've got a lot of different things going on right now from Palm Beach Island up into North County, South County. I mean, you go all the way down to Miami, but let's just focus on Palm Beach County. I mean, what do you think for Bolay makes this market so unique?
I think we live in a very active community lifestyle. There's a huge running, triathlon, tennis, workout, athletic. People care about what they eat. They care about what they look like. Go to the beach. I think it's really important. And our food is, while we get labeled a health food restaurant, per se, if you will, or a healthy, version of fast casual, we are flavor first, whole food. So just eating real foods, right? People, oh, you're healthy. I mean, yes, it is healthy, but it's real food. Just eat real food, not processed garbage, to make us feel better and go perform better. And so I think people in Palm Beach County truly care about that. They care about, they're more educated on what they put in their bodies. Um, I believe in our area. I believe in our leadership. I think we have an incredible judicial police system. I think the schools are wonderful. I think the community. I think the sports, the kids programs that are there. And as you look, like if you and I were going to start a city or a community out in the middle of nowhere, okay, what would we want? And it's hard to bring all that together. We always like to kind of rip people apart in politics or doing this. It's not easy. It's not easy to balance the school system, politics, the police area, the fire department. But when they're all run well and people truly care about their community, I think everybody gives back. And I see a lot of give back in this community. Ourselves, primarily, we do a lot for the community from the restaurant business perspective on donations and school charities and community events and police and firemen, whatever, nurses, school teachers, the whole thing. And I think that's so important for a community that wants to live in a great community to, like, as if we were all living a little Indian tribe. We got to all pull our weight in some shape or form. And it's not just what the community can do for you. It's what can you do for it?
Right. No, no doubt about it. I mean, any community you have, there's pluses, there's minuses, there's challenges. I mean, we're blessed with great weather for the most part. I mean, obviously this place has changed. You've lived here a long time. I mean, the obvious thing is there are more people here, but what are some of the changes you've seen for the better and for the worse that have happened here since, maybe you said, I mean, you said you grew up in New Orleans, but I know you've been here for quite some time. I mean, what are the changes here that you see from a positive and a negative perspective?
Well, from a positive, I think we are great restaurants. I love seeing some arts coming to where you can go see a play at the Strauss Center. We have a concert venue that we can go to hear great music. You got the boating scene. I think their enhancement there. I think the outdoors situation with the local parks, like you're seeing, a lot of people doing so many wonderful things, and the challenges of all the other states doing such a poor job. Everybody wants to move to Florida, which is great, but it gets to the point where there's a lot of people coming, and you can't have more. You can't build bigger roads because they just can't get wider. And so,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
it used to seem like a thing where there was season and not a season here, and now it just seems like one big season, right? I mean, you don't
yeah,
see people leaving, so I get that. I mean, Chris, this every guest I have on, we kind of pivot to this, and I think it's really fun. But it's kind of your favorites and best of the best, right? And for the first question, I'm going to ask you, this is right in your wheelhouse as a restaurant guy, but what is your go-to restaurant to go to in the area? You've got a Friday night, you've got to go out and you've got to pick a place. What's the go-to restaurant? What are you going to order there?
1,000 North. I love up in Jupiter. I love the crab pasta. I love, but you can never go wrong for a great date night or celebratory night. At we are so honored to have the Breakers in our backyard and going to HMF and sitting in that majestic room and having exquisite first class service. You can't beat that, right? So I'm a huge fan of the Breakers and how they execute, and they're flawless, their talent selection, their people, their operational excellence. Um, but then we have some great mom and pop restaurants that are just spectacular with Blackbirds up in Jupiter. You've got Lemoncello in PGA for some great Italian. We got it all. I mean, you got um, my new favorite is right there in the PGA Resort with the oh geez, Sushi by Bao, right? Where you get
Yes.
the omakase sushi, that cool, intimate, quaint experience. You pull up, the valet guys greet you, the lights. You feel like you're a little bit of a movie star on your date night out. You can go have a libation before and after if you want. So you're, as you know, we're parents, so we don't get to go out that often anymore. So when you do, you don't want to rush home before the kids are asleep. The whole idea is to get home when the kids are already asleep. So yeah, but it's fun. And then you got some great restaurants, Utiki overlooking the water in Jupiter. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I knew you'd be good to ask that question too.
Yeah.
Second question. I like to ask people to give a shout out to businesses or service providers that you absolutely love and use all the time, but maybe some people haven't heard of them and they absolutely should hear it. This could be doctors, chiropractors, people that give golf lessons, landscapers. I mean, any.
Yeah. Dr. Sema and PGA. Oh my gosh, this guy is such a hidden. I don't think he understands how good he is, but got stress or something tweaking in your arm or this and that. The guy can fix me and fix you no matter what. His practice is spot on. I love that. Um, I mean, Junior's barber shop in off Donald Ross. I go in there, it's hip, it's fun, they're welcoming you. Take my son in there. It's a kind of a cool dad son experience. Um, love those guys. And I will tell you too, one of the bigger organizations that we don't give enough credit to, I think in respect is FPL. I think Florida Power and Light as an electric company, what they have to navigate and deal with the hurricanes and power outages and crazy stuff happening in Florida, and the way they are so laser focused on getting our businesses back up and running when that kind of thing happens. And then now you can see the investment they're making, burying all the power lines. So I would say on the macro, FPL is a great job. A great question. I appreciate you. It's positive.
Yeah, yeah, no, I could have some fun with this all day long, right?
Yeah.
I feel like as an entrepreneur, people gravitate towards people with energy, right? So you certainly have that. Uh, Take me through a couple more things. We'll do some bonus questions here.
Hit me.
One piece of advice you ever got in the business that you think of every day.
Oh, my father told me to work with my mind, not my back. I always love that one. Really always use your mind versus your back. Your mind can take you so much further. My old boss, when I was in the marketing ad agency world, Cody always told me, make fast and make it fast, take sharp and make it sharper, and believe that no matter what you do, you can always do something, make it better. And I've just always hung on to that. And that's kind of my driving light of just make things better than they currently are. And you can constant improvement. And, I think there's so much to be said for the golden rule of just treat people right and take care of other people. And and never create enemies. I don't have any enemies. I don't believe. If you do, please reach out to me and let me figure out how to cure it, because I pride myself on not having enemies. I really don't. Life's too short. You can always, I think human beings without all the audience around can always get in a room and talk some stuff out and figure it out. It might take a long time, but we can always figure stuff out.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Chris. So if people do want to get in touch with you, if they want to learn more about Bolay, I think for most people listening, they've driven past the Bolay or they go quite a bit. But what's the best way to get in touch with you and keep up with the restaurant?
Social media is a great place. I'm Chief Chris Gannon at Bolay. Find me directly. The restaurant's Bolay on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm there. You can always email us, and if not, visit one of our restaurants, because I'm quite afraid. I'm in them quite a bit. So typically, you'll find me in one of our restaurants and having some fun.
All right. Well, hey, Chris, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it. And everybody go check out Bolay if you haven't already. Thanks
That's
again,
right.
Chris.
Bolay all day.